Hello, everyone. My name is Terry Smith, and I'm running for state representative. You know, this moment in history that we're living is a time of momentous change. It's really a fun time to be alive for that reason. But how should we be dealing with this change? The nation right now is a nation of extremes. But I like to think that my campaign is a campaign of ideas. It's hopefully a campaign of solutions that find common ground between extremes. Now, here's a particular example that is near and dear to my heart, and it's not one that you'll hear chatted about among other campaigns, but I have experience with it. So, take this. On the one hand, a sitting governor deserves the right to appoint state agency heads, commissioners, who follow his or her ideology. And each one of those commissioners then appoints sub workers, other people to work for them, also appointees. But on the other hand, in my 26 years as a state government executive, I watched both Republican and Democratic governors share a haphazard history of appointing unqualified party friends, to head our government agency. One, an attorney was appointed to head Health and Human Services, an agency of 3,000 workers, but the guy had never run an organization in his life, and he had no experience with the agency's mission either. They threw him in there for a couple of years before they appointed him, but he didn't learn anything. And another example, a businessman was put in charge of the Department of Education. He never studied education in college, never worked in education, either as a school administrator or a teacher, and never even sent his own kids to public schools. But he is in charge of all our children's education in New Hampshire. Now, today our people, at least some of our people, don't trust their government. It's not difficult to understand why. Such men as these are unqualified to provide the two necessary ingredients of good government. That's to be lean and to be effective. Hence our distrust. So let's change that. Now I'm going to write a bill that mandates that all government appointees first meet minimum qualifications set by the Department of Personnel before being allowed consideration for appointment. Same as they do at the Department of Personnel for all other career civil service postings. Critically, education and experience needs to be relevant to the job that we're offering to an appointee. Now, it is our government, so let's remake it to be less about political wheeling and dealing and more about efficiency and productivity we're paying for. Another issue that's near and dear to me is the wealth gap. It's a difficult solve, though. On the one hand, as we all know, the income of middle Americans has remained stagnant, while, on the other hand, the top 10% of Americans accumulate progressively bigger shares of the nation's wealth. See, but that's not the worst part that concerns me. The worst part is that the concentration of money in the hands of the wealthy few is used to fund political campaigns that are beneficial to them, not us. The result is the creation of a new ruling class. Now, one of my heroes is George Washington, and he risked everything, wealth, position, to fight for an idea, democracy. And he fought against the ruling class, which we then called an aristocracy. Today, right here in America, we have to start fighting against a ruling wealthocracy. How? How do we do that? Well, one idea that I've been mulling is a rolling minimum wage, one that shares America's prosperity by adjusting a minimum wage fairly to an employer's ability to pay. Now, some businesses like my own father's, they couldn't afford $15 that's being proposed by some. What they can afford is what the minimum wage should be based on. Now, I'm not sure yet if this is the right answer, and I could definitely use some advice from you all out there. I need to think about it some more. Need your help. Now, another option that I'm more firm about is the need to reduce the wealth gap by reducing corporate tax loopholes and eliminating the reward for hiding money in offshore accounts. Now, that would take some of the tax burden off middle-class Americans, because taxes should be equitable, poor or rich. We've all heard about this recently based on the debates and so on. Now, Franklin and Hill face other serious problems. And I wish I could be there in person with you today to talk about them, but they include COVID, healthcare, climate change, school funding. Now, in this time of massive change that we're living, this moment in history, we need people representing us who can see both sides of issues, who avoid complete party loyalism, and who are open to discuss issues across party lines and find real solutions to our real problems. 50 years ago during Vietnam, I had to cross picket lines in order to join the military. Now today, each time somebody thanks me for my service, I'm still a little bit shocked. But it's taught me. What I've learned is that America can and does change. We do get better, I believe, with each successive generation, guided by the wisdom of the previous generation. It takes time and work, but we Americans always seem to find solutions for our current problems. All it takes is common sense and ability and willingness to work across party lines as statesmen. Thank you.